often. I'm like, well, what's this like? What's that like? I'm like, I don't know. Let's find out.
I did. I took a tour at DC. I did a tourist tour because I opened up a restaurant there. So we did it.
I like it.
Huh?
I like it.
Ah, now that feels good. Holy cow.
Now, if you guys are not familiar, will be your seats in the duration of your tour. At all times, please stay seated, and when we come to a stop, I will come out there and I'll unhook those chains for you. All right, tell you a little bit about the track. Construction started on our track in November of 1957 and was completed in time to run that Daytona 500.
Hi, this is three-time Daytona 500 champion Jeff Gordon. I'm pleased to welcome all of you to Daytona International Speedway. Nearly 60 years ago, a small-town auto mechanic named Bill France Sr. dreamed of creating a racetrack that was bigger, faster, and more exciting than any before it. In the ensuing decades, his belief in big dreams transformed Daytona International Speedway into the world's center of racing. Synonymous with names like Petty, Earnhardt, and Allison, Daytona International Speedway has captured the imaginations of the millions who have set foot on these hallowed grounds. Now, Bill conjured memories of Johnny Beauchamp and Lee Petty's three-wide photo finish in the inaugural 1959 Daytona 500, but reminded race fans everywhere that a reimagined race.
And the reason why it's called that is because we're getting ready to go cross over onto that back stretch.
I told your brother that. Looks like.
All right, guys, if you look directly to your left down our backstretch is 3,000 feet in length with a 3-degree banking. And that 3-degree banking is mainly for rain runoff. Also within our 180 acres, inside our 2.5-mile track, we also have a road course. It's a little over a mile long. In fact, it's 1.065 miles in length. And you're looking at part of it here on your left, that area that we call our bus stop.
I thought you were trying to get them.
I was with you.
I don't take instructions very well.
All right, guys, now that we're ending the end of the backstretch, heading to turn 3 and to turn 4, we'll talk to you a little bit about that. But first of all, if you guys look to the right, in front of us, you'll see that large Sunoco spotter stand. We have 4 of them on our track. We have 1 in each corner. And that's a 2-piece sign. And sandwiched in those 2 pieces
Oh, okay. Got it.
are our spotters' chairs, and their job is to look over the track during the course of the race for any debris or fluids that may be on the track. All right, guys, we're heading into turn 3 now. Turn 3, the beginning of turn 3 and exit turn 4 is a total of 3,200 feet with an 81-degree banking. Let me get a little bit closer to that banking so you can see it better. That's a 31-degree banking, guys. And the distance from that double yellow painted line to the top of that wall is 4 stories, a little over 40 feet. Now, picture, if you guys will, cars going side by side, nose to 4 wide, at 200 miles an hour, somebody's going to end up hitting that wall. And if you take a look on the right, you'll see some of those skid marks heading up there. Well, that wall is called a safer barrier. It stands for steel and foam energy reduction, and that's exactly what it does. You see, that inner wall is made up of 9 miles of hollow square tubing. The outer wall is about 2.5 feet thick, made up of concrete, which is the existing wall from the beginning, 1959. Sandwiched in between those are from pylons that help absorb the energies when those drivers hit that wall, therefore reducing injury to those drivers and collision to those cars as much as possible. A car getting a wall at 200 miles an hour. Now guys, if you look to your left past this little grassy area, you'll also see our inner safer barrier as well. Alright guys, now that we're getting ready to enter the lead turn forward, we'll talk to you about our 2016 renovation of our new seating area. For one, it makes it look like all those seats are full. But you know guys, we all know that during that Daytona 500 in a normal year, every one of those seats are full. Alright guys, we're getting ready to come to our first stop. We're going to stop at that start. Don't walk on anything that is painted because it could be slippery. But I'm going to give you the option if you guys would like to walk off the tram and check it out.
I'm good. Yeah, right here. You're starting line. Get it.
Like I said, don't step on that painted area because it is slippery. Any of you guys ever seen a race on TV?
Yes.
Who's seen a race on TV? All you guys? That start finish line looks flat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's not. All right, guys, we have 60 minutes to see a whole lot. So when I ask you guys to please get back on the tram, I would appreciate it. I want you guys to see everything that our tours offer. One of the places that we're going to stop at, and we're going to go up in one of our entrances, our Toyota entrance. You're going to be able to look out over our whole 180 acres. You got to walk up backwards if you're going to walk up it.
Really?
Yep. Lean back and walk back.
Who's been lucky enough to sign this?
Huh?
Who's been lucky enough to sign this?
You all can sign it.
Yeah?
Look at me.
You guys got, like I said, we just asked that you please.
Guys, like, does anybody have an ink pen, baby gun?
Yeah, you guys, you know what? I've seen the lady dig through the bottom of her purse, found a broken trail, she signed. All right, you guys ready? Let's go. Like I said, take it easy. You don't want no accident. And for those Rolex cars, the speed limit is 35. It's the most broken rule that we have here at the track. It's hard to shut those cars down from 190 to 200 miles an hour down to 35 and 55. Alright guys, just like you saw on that start-finish line, which you don't see on TV. On TV, you happen to see 1 through 40 in our pits. Well, that's a little bit on the deceiving side, because just like a lot of engineers leave out that level 13 on those large RL buildings due to superstitious reasons, if you do the counting, on our pits you'll see number 11, 12, 12A, and then 14. That tells you a little bit about the founder of NASCAR, that he was a little bit on that superstitious side. Alright guys, now we're getting ready to take a right, and we're going to go through an area that we call the chute. And guys, we can't go into Victory Lane today, but I'm going to drive by it, and I'm going to try to do it slow enough where you guys can pop a picture in that. Alright guys, at this time I want to direct your attention to this white and gray building. That's a two-part building. On that far end, we have what I call our media room, and they work hand in hand with those TV cameras as well as the commentators that you would happen to hear during the course of the race. The front part of this building is our driver's meeting room. Every one of our drivers that's going to be on that track that day is mandatory that they go to that meeting. And now, guys, if you look to your far left, you'll see that red, white, and blue building. That's our Advent Care Health Care Center. What it is actually, it's a mini hospital. They have car owners as well as their drivers. And they're strategically placed right in front of their garages. So all they have to do is leave their RV, walk across the street, and they're at their job. Inside our 180 acres. Well, when Bill France decided he wanted to build a track, he knew that he wanted 31-degree bankings. In order to have that type of banking, you have to have good soil. So he had two guys come and analyze the soil here, found out it was exactly what for that great Daytona 500 race. We've got a couple guys that raced that race. They put on a small bass tournament. It is a catch and release program. Now that first nighttime race was postponed due to several fires that we had in this area that produced, and if you're wondering if that lighting system would put glare on those drivers' eyes, no, because in each one of those boxes we have one 2,000-watt bulb and a series of mirrors. So actually what those drivers see on that track is actually a mirror image of that light bulb, therefore reducing the glare on their eyes. Alright, that come through here side by side. So we built this 13-foot 6-inch tunnel. Tunnel is 500 feet long, made up of 95 separate pieces of prefab concrete. And in that year, 2004, when they started construction, it was also completed that same year, which doesn't seem to the left, to the right, you'll see moments of NASCAR live, as well as the turbulent times of racing that we have here. What I would like to do is draw your attention to the last picture on your left. That's the photo finish after the inaugural Daytona 500, as well as the first race here at the Daytona International Speedway. If you look at that picture, you'll see three cars that look like they're contingent for that checkered flag. Well, one of them, the guy that was on the top car, driven by Mr. Weatherly, he was a lap down, so he doesn't count. But the other two guys, here's the picture, guys. The other two guys, one was Lee Petty, and the other one was Mr. Johnny Bochamp. Alright guys, now that I've showed you the inside of our, it's mainly for people with disabilities because we have vans that are equipped to handle ADA fans as well as golf carts. So it's a pretty important in the Florida area. And when they came on board, they decided to give back to the community. So what they did, they installed this 1.5 mile walking, jogging, and bicycling trailers now. We have a total of over 7,000 solar panels, and they're talking about bringing more in the near future. Another thing great about this structure is, as you can tell, when it's raining, fans can come in here, get out of that rain, and also during those hot 95-degree days with 115% humidity, heat index, 99 point humidity, they can come in here and cool themselves off. Alright, all of you who are shooting lovers, take a look to your right, you'll see our second entrance. They were going to call it the Chevy Gate, but found out it was not politically correct, so they named it the Chevrolet Gate. Alright guys, I'm looking at something else. To a football field, it's 5 feet shy of football field with both end zones. That D in Daytona is 14 feet tall and there's over 3,600 light bulb gate. It's the largest of our entrances And compared to a football field, it's 2 football fields plus all 4 end zones. Exalta is a premium coating company that specializes in industrial paints like they use on that roller coaster segment in the yard, as well as automotive paints. Alright guys, we're getting ready to go over to that Toyota entrance before we go up top. Alright guys, we're going to get ready and go up into this Toyota gate entrance. This area right here is open to the public, so I would suggest that you guys please take everything that you have. I'd hate for you to come out here and you would be missing anything.
All of it. I insist.
Take a look to your left in front of you, you'll see our pedestrian bridge. We have 2 of these that go over to one Daytona. That's because you're looking at the back. Well, within that building, we have the offices of NASCAR, Daytona International Speedway, as well as IMSA, which stands for International Motorsports Association. And guys, now we're coming up to our last of our 5 entrances. Like I said previously, that Sunoco is the proud sponsor of all of our fuels here. Alright guys, we're going to
stuff like that. It's very important.
Gate 70, go out here, okay, at the next 2 lights of Midway, take a right, and then you go down about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and then you right. You betcha. With a total of 34 wins, including 1 Daytona 500, Mr. Dale Earnhardt Sr. And then last but not least, the statue on the right of the man they call Mr. Big Bill France Sr., the founder of NASCAR as well as the Daytona International Speedway, with his lovely wife.
So where we were on a honeymoon in Williams, Arizona, right before the Grand Canyon, we passed through the town and
then all of a sudden, he didn't like 50 hours. What do you do for the You want to go a little early, but you wait and let it go over. You end up doing late. So, I think if you kind of stick with the 50 hours or 6 month period, I think it'd be good.